Good afternoon. Although some of you are thinking of Friday the 13th, I'm thinking of National Apple Pie Day. So you decide how you want to spend your day. But for the next hour, I'd love to share my mindset that wealth building school in Wayne's World's Wealth Building School. We're going to talk about the 5 reasons why people do not build wealth. We'll take a look at some of the key components of the best strategies to make sure you start on a plan. And let's start with a simple concept. Those of you that have been listening to my various podcasts on real estate investing know that I have never had to evict a tenant. And one of the reasons is good tenant selection. But sometimes even my best plans go awry. So things happen, people become short on money, a lot of issues pop up. So I've learned a lot from Ben Franklin. Poor Richard's Almanac is a great book to read just to understand how to close and things Ben Franklin did and his philosophies. But something Ben Franklin did, and by the way, he's the person on the $100 bill, and I found that a lot of tenants who are having some financial difficulties really appreciate moving out if they can get a lot of Ben Franklins. So I basically sometimes will trade cash for keys in the instances where I have to. But Ben Franklin did something years ago. In 1790, he gave 2 people a $100 bill, which he's now on the $100 bill, and told them to hold on to it or their families on it for 200 years. Based on what the inflation rate was and the market was back in 1990, after 200 years, that $100 grew to $6.5 million. Now, none of us were alive 200 years ago. We had relatives 200 years ago. But the bottom line is we're going to talk about some of the key components as to why people don't build wealth. And one of them is very powerfully expressed in that example. With that said, the 5 reasons why people don't build wealth, and they're in no order of importance, although I think the first one is pretty powerful, it didn't occur to them. So as I talk to you today, as you think about some of these things and realize what's going on in the marketplace, do you understand some of the key components? For example, why would somebody choose to take a 30-year mortgage, make monthly payments for the 30 years, and it's paid off, when a way of building wealth would be to take that same 30-year mortgage and turn it into, instead of a monthly mortgage payment, a biweekly mortgage payment? So if your mortgage payment was $2,000 a month, instead of that, you put $1,000 a month into a payment every 2 weeks. Maybe some people get paid biweekly. They could just have it taken out of their check. But by just doing nothing more than dividing your monthly payment in half and sending in payments every 2 weeks, your 30-year loan is paid off in around 24 to 25 years. That means you've got roughly about 5 to 6 years. Let's say just 5 years, 60 payments of $2,000 a month you would no longer have to pay. That's $120,000 of wealth you would have if you just made one little change in how you paid your monthly mortgage. Now, I know you're saying, well, I'm not going to live in my house for 30 years. Take a look at an amortization chart showing the differences between a biweekly mortgage and a monthly mortgage. And at every 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, 15 years, whenever you think you might sell, look at how much more equity you have built up. That's wealth. Equity is wealth. It may be an ego trip, and you force yourself to make payments, but it is more money than you would have had by just making the monthly payment. And if a lender wants to charge you to do that because you already have a mortgage loan, you can simply do it for free for almost the same results. Every January, or as soon as the new year starts, make one extra principal payment. So if your payment was $2,000 a month in January, make the $2,000 payment, which covers principal and interest, and then immediately make another $2,000 payment, which will go directly to principal. That will accomplish almost the same thing. That's one way of building wealth. While we're on the topic of mortgage loans, do you realize that by taking an amortization chart, principal, interest, principal payment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, by just taking the full payment each month that's due and dropping down and paying next month's principal only, and then the following month, make the regular mortgage payment and the next month's principal interest only. You turn your 30-year loan into a 15-year loan, and you just cut your interest rate in half. That's all I'm saying. Awareness is a tremendous power tool in building wealth. What are you aware of in terms of things? That just happens to be something related to biweekly mortgages. Didn't decide to do it. Just gave you a couple of ideas. Are you going to send me a chat soon or an email soon that says, hey, I'm doing that or I did that? Some people decide to do something, but then they put it off. They were going to start their investment plan back in January, and it's now basically middle of May. And the key killer in our society is many people can't delay instant gratification. We'll talk about that. And the last thing, don't understand the time perspective. So it didn't occur to you, I would hope, between what I share and what you go and find out after you leave here, because I basically am here to remind you every week on things you should be doing and to arouse your curiosity and steer your imagination and get you to think outside the box on things I could be doing to build wealth. Wealth building's cool in my wealth building school. So a lot of ahas. Holy cow, I didn't realize that. And I had to say holy cow because my dear announcer, Harry Carey, had his 24th birthday celebration after his death. A tremendous broadcaster. Holy cow. So what's your holy cows going to be today? And as you do some research after I leave and take a few moments on a regular basis to find things out. I just gave you a couple of examples. We can take some other examples that relate to saving. And I don't mean saving as an investment, but just putting some money aside for a safety account, knowing it's there. And there's a combination of savings and savings that need to be a part of what you put together in your process. A lot of other things may not occur to people as they look at their budgets. Some people don't track what's going on. Some people don't understand that they have a lot of ways in which they could save energy, a lot of ways in which they could save time, a lot of ways in which they could save money on gasoline. We are being bombarded with loads and loads and loads of people telling us how we can save 25 cents a gallon with this reward card, that reward card, which credit card do you use? You know, from an aha moment on didn't occur to you, I have a lot of friends who did not realize that I can use my Costco Visa card for 4% off on cash at any gas station. You don't have to go to Costco to get the 4% discount. And in my market area, we have a station that is always much less than Costco. So why would I buy my gas at Costco using the Costco card when I can buy my gas at a cheaper station and still get the 4%? Remember, that's 4%, not 4 cents. On $5 a gallon, that's 20 cents a gallon. Couple that with a Gas Buddy card or some other rewards card from your grocery store, you could easily be saving 25, 30 cents a gallon by just doing a combination of cards or a combination of ways or how you purchase things. Every so often, if you're a Discover card user, they allow you every 3 months to take advantage of certain kinds of discounts. So that could have an impact. See, the key to building wealth is not wasting money. It's bad enough people lose money. It's worse when they waste money. So what are you feeling right now as an aha or something you were doing, you stopped doing? What is occurring to you as something you need to look at and build a better spending pattern on or a different spending pattern on, because now it's occurring to you, I got some problems in my budget. I got some problems in my lifestyle. It seems obvious to me that people that use fast food restaurants would be foolish to not put that fast food restaurant's app in their phone, because almost every fast food restaurant's app that I have is always offering something either at a low price, half price, or free, or whatever on a regular basis. It seems like there should be no reason to pay full price at a fast food restaurant, a franchise fast food restaurant. That's just my thought process based on what I see on all the apps that I have loaded. And I'm sure you have even some I don't have. So we could spend the whole hour just looking for aha moments on things that didn't occur to you. So start looking at your lifestyle, the way you live, how you do things, and find some inroads to cut some costs. See, sometimes by saving money in wealth building, you're making money for this reason. If I can find a way to save $2, $3, $4, $5, $6 on something, could be a tank full of gas, could be a couple of free sandwiches at a Burger King or McDonald's or Wendy's or someplace, or I find some good deals on specials at a grocery store and I stock up. I mentioned last week, food storage is a inflation strategy that some people are using. If I can save that money, if I saved $6 and you didn't save $6, you probably had to work and make $8 or $9 before taxes. See, any tax-free savings, because you're a better shopper, a better user of time, i.e. the biweekly mortgage, is also saving you money from that perspective. So there's a lot to be said about just this one simple, basic philosophy of more things have to occur to you that you either have to make a change, adjust, or eliminate because they're not in your best interests. With that said, the second reason people don't build wealth is based on the concept that they didn't decide to do it. There's no reason why any of the things I just suggested could not be implemented in the next week. And you only have to do things that are practical, attainable, and reasonable for you. That's meaning you shoot par. Par is a good score on a golf course. Shooting par in your money management and wealth building is a good strategy. So set your goals that are practical. Don't drive extra 10 miles to a station to save 3 cents a gallon. Go on to the Gas Buddy maps and see where you're going tonight, tomorrow, or this weekend. What are gas prices in that area? They might be much cheaper because you're driving into a certain city or out to a different place you've never gone to for a while. Gas Buddy is a tremendous place to look at maps and prices that easily can be found in your phone in a mobile app or online on your laptop or your desktop. But practical wealth building strategies, attainable wealth building strategies, and reasonable wealth building strategies. You can't cut out everything. We do now know, as we are getting into the summer season here in Northbrook, in Chicago, we're setting a record today of 2 consecutive 90-degree days as early as we've seen. That means air conditioners are running. Does your air conditioner need to be replaced because it has a low SEER ratio, seasonal energy efficiency ratio? What if you raised your temperature? The research seems to say from Commonwealth Edison, every 1 degree above 72, you save 3% in energy costs on the average. Now, that's a variable. There's a lot of other issues. But the bottom line is a lot of people are realizing that they can just save some money by using fans, by raising the temperature, and making simple adjustments to their lifestyle in the summer when it's hot and in the winter when it's cold. Practical, attainable, and reasonable. You take advantage of specials at stores on regular days. You get loads of emails from discounts on Groupon. If you order something today, there's a lot of advantages to looking at things from a par perspective. But it really boils down to getting in gear. And so I guess the best wealth building strategy starts with setting goals. What's one goal you could do in the next 30 days that you have not been doing, whether I talked about it in the past or today, or you read about it, that you can implement so that by the middle of June, you're in a whole different way of looking at things. Because if you set that goal and it's practical, attainable, and reasonable, but most importantly, a wealth building goal has to be something you want, not something somebody wants for you. And that's where people that are in partnerships, marriages, relationships have problems. Because one person wants this, the other person doesn't want that. And we'll see that in a few moments with one of the other reasons why people don't build wealth. So goals, you got to set a goal. It's got to be written down. It's got to be something you want, not something somebody wants for you. Some people make a vision board. Some people put it on their keychain. Some people put it on the refrigerator. People need to see that when you are going to give up something, share that with people, a give up goal. You should be sharing give up goals. Go up goals just in life. You got to be careful. Some people are envious, jealous, and whatever. But I always share my give up goals. I'm sitting here today looking back at 5 years. I've got a meeting at 1:30, which is a meeting like I had 7 years ago. 2015 is when I had almost this identical meeting. And 7 years ago, I was nearly 90 pounds heavier. In 7 years, slow process, practical, attainable, and reasonable. That goal gave me the energy and still gives me the energy. I wore a t-shirt today that I had not worn or last worn, and you'll be shocked to hear this, in 2002 because it never fit. Today it fits. Goals give you energy. Energy will give you the activity. See, I just talked about a biweekly mortgage, about an amortization chart of paying next month's principal. That's the energy for you to go online at bankrate.com or any amortization schedule, Google search, and do some activity. And once you do the activity, then you have the results. Holy cow. What he said is amazingly true. Wayne's World indeed is a way for me to build wealth. A very simple thing. Some people just save all their change. They never carry change. They put it in a container when they come home. They get a passion. I did that for a while years ago, and I actually would ask people I bought stuff from, would you give me all change? Give me change for the extra dollar too. Because the more change I could take home, it was like a passion for a while. I wanted to fill up that box with all this change. I want to fill up this bottle with all this change. So get in gear and decide to do it. Once you decide to do it, shoot par with your goal, a practical, attainable, and reasonable financial goal. And a lot of people talk about get rich quickly. I think that's a great idea, but I think people need to be in for the long haul. We are living longer. We have a huge number of people, a huge number. The number is over 40% of the senior citizens who are on some form of housing choice voucher in this country. And they're living longer. Many people, and hopefully none of you on this broadcast, will run out of money before you run out of life. I know you don't want to be the richest in the cemetery, but the idea is to plan it just right. So you had fun making it, and you had more fun using it. But we have too many people that I personally know that I'm worried about will run out of money, and their lifestyle will change dramatically. We are not the best savers. We're doing better. We did well. In fact, with COVID, we had some of the highest savings rates we've had in years in this country. The problem is inflation is eating that up as fast as we saved it. So we have to deal with that. And I still will share some things along the lines of inflation, even a few thoughts today. So once it occurs to you then you have to decide to do it and look at some options. It might be a regular something, or a change in your plans, or a different way you shop, a different time you shop, a different place you shop. So many potential ways. A lot of people don't understand the power of eBay. Most of you on this are real estate agents. Hopefully all of you will become a real estate agent if you're not one now. What a powerful place to build wealth and also make money by buying your own at least 2 properties a year. Another seminar. But do you realize that we as realtors have so many benefits that non-realtors don't in building wealth? And as you look at this as a career and a strategy, it gets even better. But a lot of things didn't occur to you even about your real estate business and the tax benefits and the things people can do that are legal to avoid taxes. Once again, in the 10 Commandments of Wealth Building, we do not talk about evading taxes. We talk about avoiding taxes. Tax avoidance strategies are part of the way we should be living. So, with the concept of these 2 reasons why people don't build wealth, we find also that people just put it off. They're going to do it. They might do it. They're ready to do it, but they don't do it. You cannot afford to wait. I pulled some numbers off the internet from various resources telling you what happens if you invest at different times in the year. And basically, a person investing $100 a month, on the average, with a 6% return. Now, right now, we have some investments paying more and we have some paying less. But on the average, a person who starts 10 years after another person, somebody waits 10 years. You start at 35, they start at 45. You started at 20, they started at 30. You started at 50, they started at 60. The 10 years makes a difference. And in 30 years, so the 60-year persons both start. One starts at 50, one starts at 60. In 30 years, whether they start at 50 and 60 or 20 and 30, it doesn't make a difference. That person that has started 10 years early with $100 a month has a net worth in that account of $1 million. The person that waited 10 years has roughly $300,000. That 10 years of waiting cost that person $700,000 of less money. Now, if you look at leveraging that into real estate with not as much money down or no money down, the numbers get astronomical. The key is, whatever it is you're going to do, you cannot afford to wait. And here we are in a marketplace that many of you know. June 14th and 15th will be another time when it looks like, and I hope I'm wrong, but it looks like the Fed is going to increase the rate by another 50 basis points. As far as I can remember, my friends, that has never been done. 2 consecutive 50 basis point rates. So if that happens, we are up 1.25% since this started a few months ago. And as I said in one of my investment seminars, many of you remember this, every 1% interest rates go up, buyers lose 11% of their buying power. That $300,000 mortgage they could have bought last year for the same amount of money every month is now about $268 to $270. What does that mean? Lesser home, different neighborhood. Will sellers actually negotiate down? Well, people, we are in a market where there's very few houses. The numbers are staggering how far we're behind in the number of houses needed. It's up to 4 million in some discussions. But the point is, wherever you're at, you know there is a shortage of houses, and sellers are raising prices and getting good prices. But the point is, we have waited. Many of clients who wish they would have bought last month. So, a lot of things are happening, but this is another reason why people don't build wealth. The cost of waiting is going to cost somebody 11% of their buying power if they get into a mortgage loan in June, after June 15th, when I assume we'll have at least 0.25%, which brings it up to 1%. And that's been happening real fast. Our inflation went from 2.1% right at the federal funds rate, the federal target rate a year ago, to over 8.5%. I think it was 8.53 a few days ago. And we'll do some numbers with that in a few moments. So it didn't occur to you? Well, that's why you got to look, listen, and act. Because once it occurs to you, you've got to decide to do it. And then you cannot make the decision and then put it off until tomorrow. Well, I can wait till the weekend. I'll do it next week. You know what? I got some expenses for spring. I'll start saving this summer. You can't afford to wait. I could spend hours on just different examples of the cost of waiting, but I really feel right now we can see it in the mortgage loan marketplace, the difficulty that many people have to face in regards to what they were able to do that they could have done differently just a few months ago. Fourth component, and this is the one that is, I guess, maybe inherent because we're teased and taunted and made to feel that we should have it now. Well, wealth builders realize you can't have it now. Don't spend your future. I have a rather, I would say, aggressive theory on wealth building. And the sooner you do it, the longer you can enjoy it. That's the beauty of wealth building. Whether it's getting that 10-year head start on putting $100 a month away and having $1 million instead of $300,000, or whether it's doing something else and project. Every Tuesday, for as little as I need to buy, I still go online to two of my favorite grocery stores and download last week's weekly ad and the weekly ad that starts on Wednesday. Should I buy something today on Tuesday because it's not on sale Wednesday? Or should I wait because if I buy it today, it's going to be much less on Wednesday? They put out the preview ad the day before. Do I have to have it now? Could I hold off on something? There might be a special. There might be something that's on sale. So I can wait a day. Or I better go down there today because, man, look what's happening next week at that store. And every major grocery chain in my market area puts out their weekly ads the day before they start. And the old one is online. That tells me that I can wait a day. And as I said earlier, food storage is an inflation strategy, along with gold, silver, diamonds, and real estate. Those are my five. The Fab Five for Wayne in Wayne's World is gold, silver, diamonds, real estate, and food storage. And non-perishable items. Paper towels, toilet paper, and Pepsi. Among other things. PTP. But see, we sometimes can't delay instant gratification. We have an ad running in the TV with actor named Mr. T, who's advertising for Aaron's Rental Furniture. You can buy a 65-inch TV for $79 a month for 2 years. 24 times 79. That same TV is available on Newegg and other websites for under $500. For under $500. Instead of paying over $2,000 and having it now, maybe just focusing like a laser beam on how can I save, create, work harder, take an extra job, sell some stuff till I get $500. Simple to me. But there's loads of people getting that $79 TV and having a big 65-incher in tonight. Great feeling. Don't spend your future. A couple of other things I pulled out from some of the notes that I saw recently relates to instant gratification. Is based on the fact that we have to understand the power of wealth building by maybe sacrificing. And that's kind of a sad word, but let's put it in perspective. I feel, and if you can feel this, we're on the same page. See, I say what I feel. If you feel what I say, this will work for you. but it's got to be your goals, not my goals. This is the example why people put it off. Sounded good, not that excited about it. On the other hand, I'm listening to every word, I'm doing everything. I'm reading, I'm getting something done because I want to be in a position where I have financial freedom. And the sooner I get it, the longer I can enjoy it. And so as we look at ways to not have instant gratification, remember, instant gratification is hazardous to your wealth. Instant gratification is hazardous to your wealth. That's WEALTH. My feeling. I know I have to pay taxes. I will avoid taxes like poison, but at some point I end up in a tax bracket. Could be 15, 17, 22. I don't care what the number is. But I honestly feel from the bottom of my heart, and this is why it worked for me, if I can give Uncle Sam X percent, 15, 27, 29, whatever my tax bracket, I should be able to put that money away for myself first too. I want to pay myself first, the equivalent every pay period of what my tax bracket is. Now that means it could be some tough times because if I'm in the 22% tax bracket, then I'm giving up 44% of my income, 22 to Uncle Sam and 22 to me building wealth. That means I'm struggling, maybe. I'm not doing as many things, maybe, but the longer I do that and the sooner I started, the quicker I can enjoy it. That's the magic of compound interest. We'll talk about that. And it relates to other things too. But think about that. It's not easy. Some people recommend 10%, 15%, and we don't have a lot of savings. I know. But the wealth builders have a much better saving mindset and investing mindset than poor people. And I don't want to relate to what dollars are, but there's poor and there's rich and there's wealthy and there's not as wealthy. Those are arbitrary numbers. And I'm talking about your wealth. Your health is another whole issue. Obviously, your health is more important than your wealth. But boy, oftentimes with some wealth, you can get better health. And I know that's a struggle for some people. But the bottom line is there are some advantages to that. So all I can suggest is don't delay instant gratification. Wait and do it in a way so you sacrifice. So you do the things that will hold off you wasting money. See, instant gratification is usually becoming a waste of money. And there are loads of people out there attempting to lure you into wasting money with them. I.e., we know statistically you should never go shopping on an empty stomach. We know statistically you should always shop with a list. We know statistically you should park further away from the entrance to the grocery stores. Those things all become ways to not spend as much money. You're saying, I don't believe it. Go look at the research. Go look online. You have to believe me. But I never would tell you something that's not the truth. Now, I trust, I verify. Sometimes people fool me online, so I got to check and check again and recheck. But I found out, and loads of people have said that. There's a great book called The Hidden Persuaders by Vance Packard, telling you how grocery stores use music, colors, and other things to lure you into subliminally seducing you. Look at the numbers, if you can find them, how much money Costco makes by having that service come in and offer the free samples. How much more stuff they sell when they have somebody at an end aisle giving you a sample of it. And to be honest with you, there's a way to save money. I mean, if you're willing to, you can graze through a Costco all morning and be full and make the rounds a second time in some cases. I think there's professional eaters at Costco. They just wander around. But again, instant gratification. Don't spend your future. Now, with that said, and with you thinking about, okay, what's occurred to me so far? What am I going to decide to do? What am I not going to put off? I'm doing it today. By the time Friday is over and I went out for some apple pie on Apple Pie Day or whatever else you're going to do to celebrate, by golly, are you going to do something? And then stop and think, what kind of stuff could you put off? and delay instant gratification. On the other hand, what are some things you shouldn't be putting off in wealth building that you've put off too long? And all of a sudden, it's now middle of May and you're behind. Just like some people on this broadcast probably are behind in the goals they set for their real estate income in the first half of the year. Well, you got a miracle month coming. You got a whole month of June and 2 weeks left in May to kick it up a notch and get to where you said you should be by the halfway point. The halfway point. We're not that far away. And the fifth component of why people don't build wealth is very simply the time perspective. They don't understand the time perspective. They don't see how fast inflation is going to hurt them. They don't see how fast they can build up by certain investments. They don't understand the basic, I guess you'd say, left brain math. And I'm going to share three numbers: 72, 115, and 144. The 144 to me is the eighth wonder of the world. The rule of 72s. Whatever savings rate you're getting, whatever investing rate you're getting, whether you're in stocks, bonds, real estate appreciation, doesn't make a difference to me. Commodities, you're growing at some pace. Whatever that rate of return is, or your target rate of return is, dividing into 72 will tell you how fast your investment will double in price. On the other hand, today, it also tells you how fast you will need twice as much money to do the same thing, because we are in an inflationary period of time. Too many dollars chasing too few goods. So we just saw, I think 8.53 was the number they put out yesterday for the inflation rate last month. So we're at 8% or so. I don't know if it'll go up to 9. I think it might not, but who knows? The way people spend and are spending and using money they saved in COVID to do things, we're seeing a lot of things increase. And more importantly, at 8%, if this continues in 9 years, it's going to take twice as much money. In 4 years, it's going to take almost half as much money more. So either you're losing buying power or you have to make that up. So that rule of 72s in the time perspective works to show you how fast your investments will double, or how soon you will need twice as much money to do the same thing. See, that's what inflation is. I've got more money, but I'm not better off. And most people today, since 2021, have not increased or outpaced inflation because we never expected it, number one. And people that understand the economy expected it. When you put too many dollars out there and not as many goods, prices go up. Baby formula. Right now, a lot of people are having to pay a high price. Some people are shipping stuff from friends in different countries. There's all kinds of strategies out there to get baby formula, which is scary. And the prices are rising. Rule of 115s says, let's take that same mindset and see how fast my investment will triple, or it's going to cost me 3 times as much to do the same thing that I did. So that 8 into 115 tells me how many years it will take either to have my investment triple, or the cost of things will triple. Again, I did not adjust for inflation what Ben Franklin's $100 a year bought in 1790. But I do know in 1990, he'd have money left over with $6.5 million. We didn't have that much inflation. So again, the key is to watch inflation, but to watch your income outbeat it. See, if inflation is rising faster than your increase in income, and we talked about this I think a couple of months ago, we are basically at a point where it's been proven that a person that was making $12 to $15 an hour in 2021 needed at least $9 more an hour in pay to be even. Not ahead, even. So a $5, $6, $7 an hour raise was something that was nice, but those people should have been cutting back. They were worse off with a $5 to $7 raise a year later because stuff went up higher than that. I looked at a gas receipt I saved right before the presidential election at the same gas station I buy most of my gas at. And basically, it's gone up over 2.5 times. I hit a right sweet spot where it was below $2, and now it's up there in the mid fours. I think I paid $4.39 before all the discounts, just the sticker prices. Wow. Did people get that much of an increase in their pay? No. And some people have to drive a lot, so it's even more of an impact. I think last week we talked about the personal inflation rate, not the headline inflation rate, not the core inflation rate, but the personal inflation rate in the process. And then the eighth wonder of the world, just to tease people, in investing and building wealth, taking that same rate of return on my investment, dividing into 144, tells me how fast my investment quadruples. Quadruples. That $200,000 home I bought as an investment becomes $800,000. And because I'm buying it with other people's money, an income mandment, which we talk about in future sessions, I really have accelerated my return because I may have little or no money down in this investment that grew 4 times. That's why, to me, in Wayne's world, real estate is the ideal, not the best, the ideal investment. And it beats out the gold, silver, diamonds, and food storage all the time in the long haul. And you reap the benefits of being a realtor and getting some of the tax benefits non-real estate professionals don't get if they buy income property. So those are the 5 major reasons why people don't build wealth. It didn't occur to them, no awareness. It didn't occur to them, no awareness. These are links in a chain. See, I just put those out there, but they're links in a chain because if you're not aware, your chain breaks. You got to go back and become more aware. So for some of you, you may be down to the 3rd, 4th, or 5th link. I don't know. I have no idea where you are at in where we are today. But some of you had enough aha moments that now you can set some goals. And some of you had set some goals, but you realize I really haven't made a commitment. I started saving. I dropped off. There was an emergency. I said, I'll do it next month. And see, that's why you pay yourself first. Even as a self-employed individual, you only make quarterly tax payments. So you've got 3 months of paying yourself first, the equal amount that what you're going to send to the IRS as estimated tax payments every 3 months. Pay yourself first. You're the most important. And if you can honestly sit down with your partner, spouse, spice, whoever, and make a commitment that we're going to really go bare bones, my friend, bare bones. We're going to put as much in our wealth building strategies as we pay Uncle Sam. So if you don't want to pay as much in your investing strategies because you're losing too much consumption, then find a way to pay less taxes. If I get my tax bracket down, I'm just happy. If I was at 22 and now I go down to 17, then I only save 17. See, we either consume, save, or pay taxes. Pretty much in a nutshell. And what's happened? Consumption has cost a lot more for the same things, which means savings and net taxes have to be adjusted. And if government's charging more taxes, then our savings plan is causing this chaotic situation. People will run out of money. In fact, some people, this is a regular occasion. They run out of money before they run out of month. There's 2 weeks plus left to go. Some people are pushing themselves into a potential problem about the 27th, 28th, 29th of May. A few extra tanks of gas, a few extra prices, this, that, food's up, that's up, baby formula's up. Pretty soon it's the 27th and 28th. They've run out of money, but they haven't run out of month. And so what are some banks doing? They're letting you get your paycheck 2 or 3 days early. Well, that's because they understand what's happening. The problem is, once you start that cycle, you've got a problem. I guess I said problem twice, But yeah, that problem is once you start doing that, you got a problem. But that's how you cover yourself. Well, I got paid earlier. Now you're spending next month's money this month. That's going to catch up to you. That's why they have payday loans at some exorbitant interest rate. So your commitment is basically, I'm simply saying I'm not going to put it off. I'm going to do this first. I'm going to pay myself first, invest first, then take care of my other needs, and then make some adjustments in my budget and my lifestyle and what I do, what I drive, how I get transportation, things I do. Then most of all, look at your lifestyle and say, can I delay? Can I wait for that? Do I have to have that now? We know seasonally stuff happens. We're in a summer season. Summer stuff costs more right now. I happen to get a catalog for shirts I like from one company. I just got the new spring catalog. They got 3 or 4 nice shirts in there. I'd like to have them. I don't need them. I'm going to buy them, but not at this price. It won't be very long before I'll get a sale circular, 30% off, 40% off, clearance, whatever the case might be. And so I can wait. See, it's when you need something now or feel you have to have it now is when you get probably more of a problem. Air conditioners were much cheaper 2 months ago than they will be for the next couple of months because people are buying air conditioners. Instant gratification could be a killer. Instant gratification can be a killer. And then the 5th one is the power of time. And time is so critical because each and every one of us only has so much time, or there's a window of time. There's deadlines. Some people win because they understand the power of deadlines. Many people win on eBay because they know how to bid the last 10, 15, 12, 3 or 2 seconds. And they can outbeat somebody by an extra $1 or $2 or $5. They know how to use time on their side. On the other hand, we know that some companies use time against you. When you have time on your side in building wealth, you have so much more power. And power is Wayne's acronym for the power of winning equals results. I want to win in my investments. I have a certain risk tolerance, and some of you may not have the same risk tolerance as me. That's fine. So, for example, so far I've said gold, silver, diamonds, real estate, and food storage. That's fine. There's also something that's related to time in an inflationary market from the U.S. Treasury. It's a security. It's an inflation hedge. They're called TIPS, Treasury Inflation Protected Securities. They go up and the rate of return changes as there's inflation. And so for the next, I'm going to say 5 to 7 months, for sure, probably the rest of the year, we should see those kind of investments becoming either more popular or making people more money. They're not a long-range goal, but the worst case scenario is if we go through a deflation or a recession, you'll never lose more than you put in. You can't lose money with TIPS. You either get your principal you put in or you get the inflation rate increase in your income. They're called TIPS, TIPS, Treasury Inflation Protected Securities. Instead of a 30-year bond or a Treasury bill or a Treasury note, you're buying a TIP, a Treasury Inflation Protected Security. Secure and safe, very little risk. In fact, no downside risk because it's inflation proof. And it's a strategy if you feel more conservative than investing in gold, silver, diamonds, real estate, or food storage in the process. So we got a lot of things we can look at, but so much of them center around just what this is right here, not understanding and building on these 5 areas. So with that said, we can take a look at this concept of some of the 10 INCOME-mandments. And you probably heard a few of these in my conversation, just as you look at my little funny acronyms. But that one at the top. And again, these are not suggestions. They are INCOME-mandments. Just like you maybe have a belief in commandments for your lifestyle and the way you live, these are Wayne's World INCOME-mandments. And again, people that practice all 10 of these are a very, very devout wealth builder. People that practice 5 of these are okay. People that practice none of these, you're taking a highway someplace else. And I'd like to see you climb to the top in wealth building, not go down to the bottom. So pay yourself first. At least something. Don't decide whatever you have left over at the end of the month is what you'll save or invest, because you won't have anything left over. Pay yourself first. Again, in Wayne's World, try your best to put away as much in savings and investing. You decide the risk factor there that you're paying in income taxes as a percent of your income. Only fair. If Uncle Sam gets that much, I think you deserve it more than Uncle Sam. That's my opinion. Now, once you do that and pay yourself first, you got to start looking around. What should I buy? What should I get into? I just got a flyer from a bank that if I give them X thousands of dollars, it's not a sizable sum. It's within realistic reason. They give me a $700 bonus in 90 days. I just got another flyer for a 0% balance transfer. Got another one for 1.99% interest rate, but no balance transfer fee. So we have money and we have people selling money, and there's still places you can buy money at different lenders. The key thing to realize is if you need to use somebody else's money, you have to pay for it, and that's called the interest rate. So rather than have to pay an interest rate to use somebody else's money, why not use your own money and start building wealth? So pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. And look at all the different plans, putting away $100 a week or $100 a month or $50 a week or whatever you can do. Look at the long-term projection of time. The fact that that money will grow either at the rule of 72s or that investment will grow at the rule of 144s or the 115s. It'll double or triple or quadruple. 72 double, 115 triple, 144 quadruple. But remember, that's also the fear I have of inflation. That with 8% inflation, everything, and I don't think it will last, but I can't predict the economy. Nobody can. We look at signs. But I can do this, and I've said this several times. Those who don't understand history are bound to repeat it. What happened when the Fed raised rates 17 times in a row back in 2004, 2006? You know what happened in 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nobody's predicting they will do that. And I doubt the way it's being done it will ever happen. But the bottom line is there are some people saying, whoa, now we're doing 250 basis points in a row. That's unheard of. When they meet again in July, will they do another 50 basis points? How quick do they want to squeeze that money supply? And there's another bit of information. It didn't occur to you how the Fed works. You build what? By knowing what the Fed's doing. Interest rates, price of bonds, changing the discount rate, changing the required reserve ratio, selling securities in the marketplace. That's what they're doing right now. All those signs are saying we are going to suck money out of the system. We're selling securities, so people are paying us their money instead of spending it. We're raising the interest rates on a regular basis. Banks are looking at borrowing at a higher price from the Fed because of the discount rate. All that's left is the Fed changing a bank's required reserve ratio. That's basic macroeconomic theory. It's not a rocket scientist talking. And so as you look at paying yourself first, I know it's not easy, but I also know that the best way to look at all the strategies of investing, being in real estate, being in gold, silver, diamonds, is to hire great brains. That's my income mandment number 2. Surround yourself with planners, accountants, attorneys, realtors, investors, everybody in your life. You got a board of directors, and you're the chairman of the board. In wealth building, you have a board of directors who are the best people that will help you build wealth. and keep them on your board. And the ones that aren't working, kick them off the board and bring a new board member on. This is a business. Your wealth building, your life, to me, for you and your family is a business. Treat it like a business. So we've covered the 5 reasons why people don't build wealth. We started to look at the INCOME-mandments of wealth and some strategies. Gave you a couple of aha moments with different kinds of ways to pay off a mortgage loan. There's loads of credit cards out there with all kinds of options. I don't need another credit card, but I'm booking a flight to Houston soon. And both airlines I looked at are offering me a $300 credit if I just take their credit card. No annual fee the first year. Seems like a no-brainer. Why would I want to not apply for that credit card and say $300? And next year, just say, you know what? Don't want your card. Or maybe something will happen where it's a great card and I'm willing to keep it. I don't know. But can I afford to pass up $300? In Wayne's world, the answer is no. In your world, well, I don't want another credit card. It's going to ding my credit, blah, blah, blah. It's easier to make excuses than to make goals. My goal is to save $300. I'm happy to get a credit card. Is it going to be the United card or the American Airlines Advantage card? Either one. It's happy with me. So with that said, it's, again, one of the best, warmest weekends we've seen in Chicago. Wherever you're at, have a safe, happy, healthy, and just profitable week, and start that process of wealth building. Been a pleasure, been a privilege, and look forward to seeing you next week with some new hot topics.